Good evening. This is Avis McKinley in EDUC 3343. Today we're talking about back to basics. And back to basics simply means traditional education. And it evolved out of concern for declining test scores in math, science, reading, and other areas. Many consider it to include increased emphasis on reading, writing, and arithmetic, fewer electives, and more rigorous grading. There are four characteristics of the reform back to basics, which includes reading and writing, numeracy, creativity, health, and nutrition. Reading and writing are inseparable. We read to gain information and we write to convey it. While neither is a natural act and therefore must be learned, they belong together. Reading and writing are simply learning how to spell, learning our sight words, and learning how to write sentences using the proper punctuation. Numeracy is also a basic skill teachers engage their students in mastery and mystery of numbers and manipulatives. Back to basics is also learning the basic adding, subtracting, multiplication, and dividing. When I was in school, we had to learn our times tables, which is multiplication. Learning them from starting with 0 all the way up to 12. 0 times any number is 0. 1 times any number is 1, and so forth. And if students can't do the basics, how will they ever learn how to do pre-algebra, algebra, geometry, calculus, and trigonometry? If back to basics aren't learned, these are simply out of the question. I remember my teacher drawing the 2 uncut pizza pies on the board, and asking the class, would they rather have 2 pizzas or 4? And of course, everyone wanted the 4 pieces. At this time, she divided 1 pie in half, the other into 8 pieces, and waited until the class reconsidered their decision. In creativity, the teachers need to hold classroom discussions and involve the entire class so that the students can learn from each other and give feedback. Also, it gives the teachers great opportunity to assess through observation how well the students are grasping new content and concepts. Health and nutrition. If students aren't eating a healthy meal and getting enough rest, how will they function and learn in school? A child believed to eat a good breakfast and get at least 8 hours of sleep is able to perform his or her best with no interruptions, and their concentration level is good, versus that of a child that hasn't eaten or lacks sleep. The arguments both proponents and critics make about the back to basics reforms is the earlier back to basics reform has failed because schools obsessed over the 3 R's to the exclusion of creativity, fun, art, music, and physical education. Health and nutrition, as I stated earlier, are also important components of a balanced education. The 3 R's with phonics advocated for reading instruction in the secondary grades, devoting most of the day to English, science, math, and history. At all levels, teachers taking the dominant role with no nonsense about pupils deciding the activities. Strict discipline, promotion standards, eliminating curricular frills such as art or social services such as sexual education. Corporal punishment is also considered a back to basics, and it maintains discipline in the classroom. Prayer in schools is also a back to basics, which ensures unity and love and togetherness not divided as a people. Last but not least, achieving success in teaching basics will require some changes, such as smaller class sizes in the first 4 or 5 grades, team teaching, ungraded classrooms, serious professional development, and appropriate technology. I think the reform now is still not where it should be, because too much time is focused on test scores, and it's tough being a teacher, whereas class sizes are larger with increasing numbers of children who are undernourished or otherwise in poor health are not a prescription for a vibrant future, not for kids, teachers, or for the nation.